will move on and invite Anja Žibert to talk. Anja is our talent acquisition and candidate experience specialist. So Anja, please, there's some new people as well on the call. So if you just want to quickly say a sentence on where you come from, and then, yeah, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Petra. Yeah, for all who joined a little bit later, my name is Anja Žibert, and for last 15 years, I was involved in sales, marketing, processes in Slovenia, England, and United States. I lived also abroad. So basically, from 2016, I kind of ended up in HR, and I specialized in talent acquisition because I saw a lot of similarity between sales, marketing processes, and talent acquisition, modern talent acquisition. And today I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the candidate experience and about recruitment marketing in general. So Petra, is that enough? Okay, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, so I will share some of my slides. There you go. And here we go. Okay. So candidate experience. It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword. But it's not only that, it's so much more. I will try to explain to you in the simplest way as possible. So think about the time when you were buying a new car. You probably bought a new car someday, or maybe like a large TV, and you spent more money on it. How did that make you feel? And how did you do that? Well, you probably didn't have a suitcase, and you know, took that suitcase full of money, you know, to a car dealer shop, and you said, "Hey, here I have 50,000 euros. Please just give me a car, any car. I just need a ride," you know. You probably didn't do that. You probably saw this car that you have at the moment, you know, and you really wanted to get it. Like you saw that car somewhere outside, or you saw an ad and you said, "Oh my God, this is really nice car. I really want to have it." Yeah, and that started your customer journey. Okay, that started the awareness and the thinking about the car. And afterwards, you probably started gathering information. You were, I don't know, talking to your friend, or browsing on the internet, like watching shows, YouTube, whatever, and you were gathering information about this car. And when you reached the point, I was like, wow, this is really nice car. It's like perfect for me. Then you created a desire that this is the car you really want to have. Okay. And then at the end, you probably like save up some money and then went to the car dealer shop, and probably there were like a few other activities in between, but still you went to car dealer shop and then you bought that car and you had the car that you wanted. Okay. And that made you feel really nice. It was really good experience for you. Well, it can happen, or maybe it did, that you went to the car dealer shop and there was like the rudest salesperson in the world there. And yeah, it was a bad experience, but that doesn't mean you didn't buy the car. You just went to other shop. Okay. But this is kind of the feelings and the experience that candidates have when they are looking for a new job. And let me be clear. These are not candidates that they are like desperate to get a job. and they just, want to have any job. No, these are candidates that they have like specific role in their mind or like specific company, and they would do anything to get it, to get inside the team of a certain company, or to get that special working position or something like that. So this is the mindset. Now I like in very, very simple form, I took you on the journey, like the customer journey and the candidate journey, and you see the similarity. So yeah, I have to change the slide of this beautiful car and tell you, let's make a recap. Yeah, this, what I was saying to you, what I was explaining to you is AIDA model, which is a marketing model. It means attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, and it's completely the same when you are talking about recruitment. So at first, you have a job seeker who is raising awareness about the company, about the job position. And then afterwards, he or she is gathering information. So he's raising interest to gather more information about this company. Then he really, really wants to become a part of the team. So there's desire. And of course, at the end, he or she decides to send out application. So that's action. And everything what happens next, okay, then the company gets involved, and everything is it depends on the company, on you, like HR professionals. But this is the part that we say it's traditional recruitment, and everything else up here is marketing recruitment. So this is kind of, I hope that it's a little bit more clear. What are we talking about when you see the term marketing recruitment or marketing funnel, or like very, very a lot of these buzzwords that they are appearing in today's like expert media, like literature and everywhere where they are saying, or where they're writing about modern HR. Okay, so this is kind of the comparison between traditional and marketing recruitment. What I wanted to say to you today is that bad candidate experience is very, 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 very expensive thing. Yeah, it cannot really be measured in specific way, but I will tell you a little bit more about the story of English company, Virgin Media, that actually made that happen. Like they measured the bad candidate experience effect. Okay. So Virgin Media is a British company. It's a cable operator. And a few years ago, there was this gentleman called Graham Johnson, and he was a former HR manager in Virgin Media. And one day he was just browsing through the feedback of candidates who were involved in, in selection processes, who were taking a part in the interview process, and afterwards they had to fill in the survey or some questionnaire, and he was checking the answers. And one feedback actually caught his attention, and it was this woman named Louise, and she wrote that her experience at the job interview, it was horrible, and she really felt bad, and that is why she will cancel the subscription to the Virgin cable contract. Yeah, the operator. And yeah, and she said that the same thing her sister will also do. And this Graham Johnson, he was thinking, I was, oh my God, did that really happen? Like, I have to check this out. And so he went and he explored what was going on, you know, in the background. And he was like, okay, if she did it, because she actually did it, like he went to check and she actually did it. And then he asked himself, okay, if she did it, how many Louises are out there? You know, how many people can actually do the same? And what would that mean? And so he gathered a group of experts in this company, and yeah, they were really they went deep with their investigation, and they found out some really shocking results. So basically, what they found is that 18% of rejected candidates, of course, he was checking the certain time period of job interviews, and everyone who were involved in that time period. So 18% of rejected candidates were also Virgin Media customers. Okay. And 6% of all these Virgin Media customers who were rejected, they actually canceled the subscription. And Virgin Media is very, very large company. So they have, like, you know, recruitment processes is daily, like the frequency of interview is very, very large. And there are a lot of people coming and going, you know, in this company. So it was like thousands and thousands of people. And on yearly, like when they calculated, you know, because of course, everybody wants to know how much money, you know, that means, not only how many candidates they lost. And yeah, at the end, they measured that this 6% of rejected candidates who actually canceled their subscription resulted in $5 million American dollars per year. So that means, you know, like every candidate that they canceled the subscription. Can you turn? Yes. So every candidate that canceled subscription, like they calculated the worth, like the money that they would pay in 1 year, you know, based on yearly contract. And yeah, it was $5 million American dollars of financial loss, which is quite a lot. So they proved, like this Graham Johnson, he proved that there is a direct correlation between a bad candidate experience and the financial results of a company. And of course, we cannot really, you know, generalize things, because they are not all companies. They don't have like the recruitment processes and like this kind of strategy that Virgin Media has. So there are a lot of different companies, but everyone needs to be aware of these three things, because there was a very, very interesting survey, I mean, like a research. It was made, I think it was like Our Career, something like that. It was the source. And the first three most important reasons, or like the reasons that influenced the most time, you know, on bad candidate experience were no response. So basically, candidates didn't get any response, like any response from the companies that they were applying to. The second one is too long or too complicated processes. So it can be like online form, it can be too complicated. You know, this is also the reason that people just, you know, stop with their application process. Or maybe the whole process is too long. I don't know, 7, 8, 9 interview, which is really a lot, you know, for some companies. And the third one is unpleasant interview. So yeah, feelings like bad feelings or like unpleasant feelings that candidates had during the interview were also a big part that they were telling their friends, oh, this is really bad company, you shouldn't apply there. They wrote on social media their experiences. And yeah, at the end of the day, of course, some of them, they also stopped buying their products or using their services because they had an unpleasant interview. And yeah, HR hacking slogan, I really love this one. Let's create the best HR that has ever existed. This is why we are here today. And I'm really happy that, there are a few people here live watching at this moment, but I'm pretty sure even more people will watch this video afterwards. So each and every one of you, of us, has the opportunity, and actually we all have responsibility to create the best HR that has ever existed. And the best HR means the best experience for all. So for us as professionals and also for candidates. And because I really want that your experience with today's video is positive, I prepared some tips and tricks for you. So it could be really useful. These are tools that I'm using. I'm not going to say every day, but I would really recommend you to check out. So this is Recruiter Hunt. Recruiter Hunt is an amazing website, which consists of amazing digital tools. You have a lot of different internet tools, and you have a lot of templates from certain areas. And okay, it's American side, so there's no Slovenian legislation there, but I'm pretty sure it can be really, really useful. So I would really recommend you to check that out. And the one I really love is Blinkist. Blinkist is actually a mobile app because I have a 6-year-old son at home, and yeah, like most of us parents, we are all now in this situation that kids are at home and we don't really have that much time to read books. So Blinkist is an app that actually offers summaries, like recaps of amazing, really good books. And one of my favorites is this one, Employee Experience Advantage. You can also find that, there's a whole section there about HR and about people psychology. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I would really suggest you check it out. It's a paid application. You have to pay for it, but it's really worth it. I think some things are still you can get it for free, but most of it's paid. But I can tell you, it's really worth it. So the next one is recruiting.net. This is a gem as well. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's an X-ray LinkedIn search. So basically, what does that mean? That means it's free. This is completely free. It has a search characteristic. It's like interface. It's really cool. So you can search candidates, and the results will show up in Google, not in LinkedIn. So if you are using LinkedIn Recruiter, that's paid version, and it shows everything in LinkedIn, and this one shows everything in Google, and it's free. Yay! We like freebies, don't we? And another one, Hotjar. Okay, if you're using career page, this is very, very important as well. If you're using career page in your company, then you have to, seriously, you have to track how many people actually visit your page. Okay, that is something that Google Analytics can tell you. But Hotjar actually shows you the behavior of your website. So if you have application form there, and I don't know, they are 10 different fields inside, you know, and somebody stops at, or maybe like there's a, you know, really high application a drop off at your website and you don't know why, then you put Hotjar on the website and it will show you at what point the visitor, like the website visitor, stops doing something like writing or scrolling or something, so you can track their behavior. And on career page, it's really good to know that. And yeah, last but not least, I would like to mention also the video program that me and Branko, which you will meet in a couple of minutes, we recorded together. This is actually an innovative video program that offers first steps in modern talent acquisition. It's cool. It's really cool. There's nothing similar in Slovenia yet, so you can find it at secretlife.com. And below you can find my contacts. So yeah, that's for today. I hope I was not too long, Petra.
No, right on time actually. So
oh, yeah. Perfect.
Thank you very much. So anybody has any question? The floor is open for questions for Anya. Just unmute yourself and you can ask the question. It seems like we are very shy today with this small group.
Yeah, you can write me also on my email if you have some specific question. That's absolutely no problem. And you can also add me on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. I have quite a lot of followers there, and I'm quite active. So maybe we can learn from each other, you know, also there.
Okay. No, that's good. So the time is a bit rushing because we started a bit late due to the problems with the link. So thank you, Anya. Then I still have a question for you anyway at the end, if there'll be enough time. And yeah, thank you so much for all the concrete tips. I think that was really good. I'm often missing that when people present something to as well give us tips on where to go. So thanks. And the AIDA model, that's so easy to use in HR. I think we can apply this like sales technique so easily.
Yes.
And it definitely adds the value to our recruitment. So thank you as well for this idea.
You're very welcome.
Good. Okay, so then I will give the word to Branko. And as well, Branko, you can say a sentence to the people that maybe join a bit late of who you are, what you're doing, and then you can continue with your presentation.
Okay, thank you for the word, and thanks to my colleagues who have done a great job in presenting a few of the topics. I know we could go on for hours, but I'm just going to present myself in 2 sentences because we want to respect the time of our panelists and, of course, of our colleagues attendees. I'm a CEO of VMC International. We're specialized in leadership development, in sales growth, and of course in reactivating human potential in companies. Let's say reactivating talents and people potential, etc. So, you know, when we talk about growth and development of companies, we always talk about people who also have to grow and develop in companies. And I'm going to present a few tips and tricks, or let's say I'm going to present what kind of a future the leadership should look like. And I hope you're going to enjoy it. Okay, is that okay? Should I add something more, or can I start? Okay, great. So, dear colleagues, thank you. Dear attendees, thank you very much for your patience. I know it's been pretty tough not doing anything and just listening and following, because I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm not gonna, just share with you. I want your interactions. So for the start, let me just please ask you a question, and for you just to shortly write to see if chat is working. Can you just write down if you see me okay? So you can just write okay if it's okay, if you hear me okay, if you see me okay. We all know sometimes there could be some distractions with the signal, but please just write okay in the chat so I can see you're still alive, you're still wake up. Okay. Okay, there's 2 people still. Okay, there are 3 people actually. That's great. There are 8 written here. Okay, maybe somebody went to toilet. No. Okay, 4 people. Can we add more? Like, it's just okay. Just a simple check if the chat works. Everything okay? Perfectly okay. Just okay. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5, 6, and alive. Very nice. Good to know that. So great. 7. Okay. If you have any colleagues, you can send them link, invite them for the grand finale. It's still not over. I have some interesting thing to share with you. So okay, let's start. I wanna share with you some of the slides I prepared. Not many, just 82 or 83. But we're gonna finish very fast. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want you to leave now. But let's talk about influence of leadership on employee engagement and retention. It's interesting when we talk about leadership, people start to get really interested, isn't it? You know why? Because leadership is more important than HR. I know that's forbidden to say, but you know that's why we're here. Hacking HR means we have to put HR in new perspective. And my dear fellows and colleagues, based on my 20 years of experience, I still find it quite interesting that we still don't take, or leaders still don't take HR seriously enough, or as a part of their strategic involvement or strategic decisions. It's like HR always comes like second. You know, first we have to talk about the finance and production and the marketing and the sales. And then we have to check with people that's okay. Or usually we say, okay, HR, here's the goals. Now you go and persuade people they should do it. Okay, you have all you need at your disposal, which is usually not. But okay, you have to manage with what you actually can get. Okay, so let's talk about insanity now, or sanity. You know, if we talk about sanity, insanity, you probably heard about this famous quote of Albert Einstein. And this is your first task. Just please help me out. How would you finish this sentence? It goes, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expect same results, or B, is it expect different results, or C, expect the unexpected. So now this is a quick test. So please just write the number, the letter A, B, or C in chat, just to see how much sanity is there still in participants here, and how good how good you're familiar with all the quotes. How would you say? Is it A, B, C? We have a mixed answer. That's what I like. B, A, B, A, B, A, B, B. Interesting, isn't it? That's very nice. So actually, what Einstein said, so originally, the quote from Einstein was this. He said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. Well, actually, expect the unexpected is not insanity. This is actually sanity. But on the other hand, you who pressed A were also right. Why? Because in the times where Albert Einstein lived, the things didn't change as fast as they are today. And today, doing the same thing, it's impossible to expect the same, whatever the different results, okay? Also the same results. It doesn't work. Why? Because things change fast. And who is the one who can adapt to those changes? Is it leaders? Well, they should, but mostly it's the employees. And they have to adapt. They have to show the let's say, the talents for flexibility, adaptability, all the things that you probably heard about. The guy, it's called Charles Darwin. He wrote in his book 1859, actually, it's not the strongest species that will survive, but actually the species that will be the most capable of adopting, or let's say adapting to the new and changing circumstances and environment. Well, that's actually the same for leaders today. You know what I found out when I've done some research. And you know what's interesting, that you find out that after 100 years or so many, when we talk about people and management, we have to understand people are not just a resource. Do you comprehend yourself or see it yourself as a resource? Look at the mirror and say, am I a resource? I'm not a resource. I don't look in the mirror and say, hey man, are you a nice resource? Are being used resource? Are being paid for? I'm not a resource. I'm a person, I'm a human being. I want to develop, I want to grow. I want to have something valuable
Zdravo, jaz ne slišim nič več. A smo še tukaj? A nam je Branko pobegnil?
Yeah, I think something's with Branko's connection or something.
Okay. Yeah, I think we lost Branko, it seems. Okay. Dobro, upam, da bo prišel nazaj čim prej. Okay. No, jaz sem imela še vmes eno vprašanje. I had a question for Anja.
Yes.
So I will just ask Anja, and as well, actually, while we are waiting for Branko, hopefully he will come back. Anja, how can you assure actually a positive candidate experience now when we are mostly remote? So, you know, remote hiring, of course, it's becoming a reality. We have to adopt that. So how can you assure a good candidate experience remotely?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Petra. Actually, I would emphasize what Branko just said. So we do not treat candidates as resources. It's all about the relationship. So basically, if now, when in these challenging times, when you are talking to a person, you cannot have in your head, you know, like only the goal, oh, we need to put this person in this job position and our problem will be solved. It's not now, it's really not the right time to do that. You have to develop and you have to build a relationship also with potential candidates, and you have to communicate with them. I mean, that's a standard, it should be used, you know, anyway, but in these challenging times, this is even more crucial. Like I said, developing the development of relationship and not taking people for granted and their skills, competences. Oh, Branko is back.
Oh, is he? Let me check. Probably I have to give him the right to speak.
Okay.
Oh, Branko?
Yes, I'm here, loud and clear.
We lost you somehow.
Yeah, but can you give me just the co-host?
Okay, let's make co-host. Okay, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Like, glad to be back. Okay, sorry for this interruption, but you see, it doesn't matter what happens, we're still back on track. So where was I? I was here, right? I was at my thought that nobody wants to be managed, but we all like to be inspired. So let me just give you back on the screen, and we are live again. That's great. I hope this only happens once, not 2-3 times, because that would not be nice. But you know, the job of a leader is to inspire and to ignite the fire, as I mentioned before. And if I've done some research, and if you do the same, you will find out something quite interesting. That's why I call it Leadership Insanity. The first book on management was written actually with the title Shop Management by Friedrich Winslow Taylor. Maybe you know him by Motivation. He was one of those who really was doing a lot on motivating people. But it's interesting, if I write in Google, you can do it for yourself, write in leadership in your Google engine search, and you will see that you get, like, let's see, 773 million results connected to leadership. That means articles, books, content, models, whatever you need. It's amazing how much you can find on leadership on the internet. On the other hand, if you just write in like human resource management, now imagine this, you can find 1.3 billion results, which means human resource management is more powerful, more important than leadership. Obviously, you know, numbers don't lie. But it's interesting that we say that leaders are more important about in companies. No, it's the people. You can see it here for yourself. Do the research, you'll see the numbers don't lie. So human resource means we have to put human back into human resource. I love the quote by Brigitte Hyacinthe. Maybe you know her, maybe a follower. She's one of the greatest girls online. I'm really proud that she also follows me, which means, okay, that's great. You know, when I found out that she's following me, I ran to my wife because I was home at the time and said, can you believe who's following me? With this is some of the moments that you actually remember. So it's interesting when you write in, when you write in Amazon, like leadership, you still get over 60,000 results for leadership. You know, that's amazing. We have so much content. We have so much knowledge about really on the palm of our hand. But on the other hand, there's something that worries me a little bit. There are other numbers here that are also important. These are the numbers of engagement. If we talk engagement and motivation, look for yourself. What is the global research that's been done putting into place next to those numbers? These numbers are really not good because you see that this is engagement. Percentage of workers who are fully engaged means, look at the numbers. This is the white lines between 5, 10, top 15%. Maybe India is a little specific here because it's growing fast. I was just yesterday watching a show on BBC News regarding India and development in India. There are a lot of individual entrepreneurs they like to encourage, not so much teamwork, as much more individual success that is more promoted. But look at the numbers. How can it be? And if we compare this by industries, we have 773 million content, articles, data about leadership, how it should be done, how leaders should behave, how leaders should inspire, how leaders should ignite the fire, as I mentioned. But so low percentage of people who really, if we just deny this full engagement, we just say engage, we get to 40%, not more. And this is on one hand, we see the numbers are impressive. On the other hand, there's a vast difference between what's available there, the knowledge about leadership, and what is actually being performed by leaders in different companies. Is that so? Okay, let me just ask you a question, because here we already have put and in Slovenia, the engagement is really low, exactly. So my question to you is, on a scale 1 to 10, now I want you really to be honest, on a scale 1 to 10, how would you evaluate the quality of a relationship with your direct boss or your direct manager? So I don't know if you're a manager or if you're not, but since you're here, can you write in your chat, okay, what is the strength of the relationship with you and your direct subordinate, your direct boss, your direct manager, your direct leader, whatever you call the person that you work with? Okay, we have here, Valeria said 9. I'm glad to see that. We have a 10, good numbers. Okay. I will say, okay, the relationship that you will evaluate on a scale 1 to 10 would be somewhere between 7 or 8 up to 10, which is okay. Now, another question is, can you write on a 1 to 10, what is your connection with your general manager, with your top leader, with your president of the board, with the owner? Let's say, okay, the owner could be different, but let's say just with the top manager, with the general manager, with the big boss, because it could be a lady or a gentleman, whatever. How strong is that connection on a scale of 1 to 10? So your direct subordinate is 9 and 10. Sarah, you're a very important person, obviously, in a company, because you have such a strong relationship with your general manager, or you're someone in the management. If you're general manager, that's a good numbers, okay? I understand that. But then we have a 5, we have a 9. Usually here, I'm Cohen and I'm in management. Very nice to know that, Emilia. Okay. So Emilia, for you, what will follow would be, I believe it's going to be very interesting, you know, and also valuable and helpful in your future development as a leader. Great to know that. Okay. Thank you, Ivan. Okay. So let's see what actually is going on in the future of leadership. I prepared some of the insights, because if we want leaders to influence the engagement, and there's obviously something wrong because people are not as engaged as should be, they're not as motivated as should be. You know what's interesting? When I look at the numbers, or I have management training, of course, regarding leadership development, I ask them, okay, how many percentage, okay? How many percent of people are not as motivated, are not as engaged? How would you say, how many people are from 100% in your company, they're not as engaged, not as motivated as they should be? And percentage is usually between 10 and 20. I'll write it down in chat. Okay, I said, okay, fine. That's, thank God, that's not much. That's not 40 or 50% at the half, 10, 20, but still, it's a fact. What is a fact? That you don't hire a poor performer, right? They were not hired as 10 to 20% who don't do their job. Is that true? Of course it is. We don't hire for performers. We actually hire people who are willing to do the job and who are motivated, who want to show their talents, their skills, everything they actually want. But there's a question: why would they want to do that? And since my colleagues from the first and second lecture, they put it employer value proposition and employer branding and how to attract talented people, how to get to the right kind of people. My questions for you, who are leader or not leaders, is actually regarding to this. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. We know that you can have amazing strategy. If people don't buy it, if people don't go into it, if they don't do it, it's not worth more than a piece of paper, right? On the other hand, Steve Jobs put it really well, who said micromanagement makes best people quit. But it's not the obvious statement here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the small print. It says it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. But you know what? Usually there's a lack of connection. What I'm most proud of, and I've actually done this with people who lead more than 1,000, 2,000, even 3,000 people in their company. You know what was the number one leadership task that I challenged them to do? And they mostly loved it. Some liked it, but they eventually loved it. Some loved it from the beginning, is go and talk to your people. Get out of the office, get down to production plant or production lane, and you just go and talk to people. Don't look at the reports. Don't look at the spreadsheets. Look at your people. Look how they build culture. Look how they relate with each other. Look how they will relate with you. Look at their faces when for the first time they will see you. You will see they're gonna be eyes of expectations. Oh my God, the president's here. What am I supposed to do? No, you people don't know where to go, what to look, what to do. You know, just pretend you're working. That's the best one, you know, I've heard. Just pretend you're working. But you know what's interesting? The fear why leaders don't do this more often is they're afraid that people will be negative, that people will have a lot of critics on account of management or company. But usually it's quite the opposite. People, of course, they're surprised, but the more often the managers go to people in production lines, the more people are open, friendly, and they talk honestly to them. You know, they share ideas that you cannot read in the reports. They have great ideas, they have questions, and they like to be heard and they like to be valued. We all want to be valued. And you know what I'm most proud of that I've done with leaders for 20 years is that I still work with many of them for 5, 6, 7, even 10 or more years. And they say, you know, one of the best things that I've done is actually that I pardon my French, I raise my ass and I move my ass into production line and talk to people. And you know, people love this. Leaders love this and workers love it because it makes them personally connected. I call this, you know, you probably know management by walking around. And that sometimes was also understood as management by wondering about. Okay, what am I doing here? But personal approach matters. It's management by personal relations. It's PR. You know, we all know what's PR about. Let's do leadership PR more. Let's personal relationship leaders with people. Why? Because you will find out so much more than it's in these reports and spreadsheets. And I don't know what kind of a key performance indicators that you look into. Leaders need to relate with people. It's the personal relation that matter the most. And there are new leadership concepts and approaches needed that I actually try to, you know, implement. I try to train with people. I like to, you know, I give them reason to do that. Not just they have to do, but it makes sense. It's not common sense, it's sought, not common doing. And this is what we actually train and teach and coach and do with leaders. We do with them. We sometimes go with them. We show them why, because we care. And we want the leaders to care about their people. That's what matters today more than ever. So the first thing is you have to actually understand, and all of you who are leaders, what employees, oh, that's a nice one. That's what employees of every generation expect of company management. So see, employees, it should be previous, but you know, making errors is human. It's nothing to, you know, focus. We're gonna focus on future. My question is, actually that's coming from the part of Anya was talking about. Why would I work for your company? And the main question is, why would I share my very best, especially for you and your team, or with you and your team? There's a big difference. Should I work for you or should I work with you? This is, sometimes we forget that the way we talk actually reflects the way we think and reflects the culture that we work in. I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you. I want to work with leaders, with managers. And I call it different, human resource development or human capital activation or talent management system. They have to become a part of KPIs, key performance indicators. And there are 5 very important new motivators that leaders have to understand and embrace. First, it's people versus profit, but it's people in the first place. The profit follows. It's the purpose that people follow and paycheck benefits follow. It's the teamwork that is better than competition. Who is the best salesperson is one thing, but how we can make our sales team invincible or unbeatable, this is the main challenge for leaders. No, can we make a leadership so strong that it generates the toughest of the toughest teams in the company, that are not afraid of no competition? Leadership versus management, you have to have management because management is focusing on process standards, but leadership is caring about people. What atmosphere do we have? Are people ready for new reorganization? Are people willing to approach to new products, to new markets, new processes? How they connect between each other in companies also depends on leadership. Do we have gardens? The little gardens. Okay, this is my little garden. This is our team. Okay, sales doesn't have to know what marketing does. The market doesn't give a what production does, etc. It doesn't work anymore. So I don't give a, pardon my French, I give a shit what kind of title you have. I want to see the courage. Are you up to the situation that you have the courage to lead? Because titles have to be earned. And only those leaders who are, I would say, who earn the title to be a leader are the leaders who show courage. And these are the leaders that the most talented people are going to work for in the future. See, this is one of the greatest tweets that I see because I'm also part or a member of Winning Mentality Group, which means that winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. If you compare yourself to competition, I never do that, just not at least for the last 4 years. When people tell me, who is your competition, that's their thing to know. I know that my focus is on developing leadership potentials in your company or sales growth or activating your talents and potential of people in your company. What others do, that's their job to do. If they're better than we are, then they're going to beat us. But I don't want to let others beat us because we're focusing on them. I want to focus on what really matters. And leaders should focus on attracting and retaining the human potential and talents. And that demands the leadership revolution. That's actually the title of my new book that's coming up. But see, it's with its purpose that it's really R is written like, registered, because for some it's going to be evolution, but for many it's going to be the revolution. What I want to say, my final statement for you, ladies and gentlemen, is the leaders of the future are the ones that will have the best talents, work for them, but because they're aware that the title leader has to be earned and not given. Now, you just remember who are the best leaders that you worked for. And I'm sure the answer is going to be, it's not because they had the title, but because they earned respect in your eyes. You know why? Because they showed you respect and value for what you've done, even when you made mistakes. They helped you to learn from them, grow from them, and become even better. And maybe this has given you the courage and enthusiasm to join our session today, which is by here, finally, with my final slide. Thank you very much. I would be really glad if you connect with me on LinkedIn. And of course, questions, please.
Thanks, Branko. This was great, so enthusiastic. So good. I will not lose any more words because we are short on time, but I would like to still give a space for any questions that came up during this panel.
I'm glad to answer them. Okay.
If none, then I would suggest you connect with Branko on LinkedIn to continue as well the conversation on this presentation. I see Anya is already closing the light, so she's ready to go home. Everything is...
Anya, you should turn on the light. Anya.
It's too far away. It's too far away.
So there's the signal to go. I'm sorry we had problems with the links, and thank you so much for everybody that joined us today in this Hacking HR session. We will continue with Hacking HR as well further on with some events. It's really an event where we want to have different ideas going on and new ideas, and that's definitely what the presenters as well, Anya, Ivan, and Branko did. So thank you so much for new ideas. And thank you for bringing new concepts to everybody. So, and yeah, thank you for the participants as well, especially the ones that joined us at the beginning and found their way to this Zoom webinar. So I hope we meet again at some other point, some other time. Add us on LinkedIn and we can stay connected there as well.